We are live. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Getting Real. It's this show where we have real conversations about what matters most in real estate investing and in life. And today we are diving into something that I think is really important and we don't often talk about, and that is legacy. Here's the truth: you are building a legacy, whether you're intentional about it or not. Every choice you make, every habit you nurture, and every action you take is shaping what you are leaving behind. That's legacy. So I want to ask you a question. What are you building today that will outlive you tomorrow? This isn't about perfection. This is about purpose. It's about stepping into the life that you're meant to lead and creating a legacy that makes you proud. So let's get real today about doing that. Uh, in this episode, I am going to share the three pillars of lasting legacy: wealth, impact, and inspiration. Plus, I am going to invite you to a special event that's happening next week, the Business Legacy Summit. It's free and it's where you will get tools, insights, and inspiration to build a legacy that matters. But let's get into talking about legacy today. So, legacy, first, let's talk about what does legacy really mean? Because legacy isn't just about what's written in your will or the number of properties or doors you own, how much money you leave behind. It's also about how you make people feel, the impact you create, and the values you leave behind. So here's what that looks like. For the personal, in terms of personal values and relationships, ask yourself these questions. Are you showing up with kindness, strength, and integrity? Or are you letting life pull you in so many directions that you forget what really matters most? Are you showing up in alignment with who and how you want to be? When it comes to financial planning and wealth distribution, are you making your money work for you? Or is it just slipping through your fingers on things that don't align with your vision? Are you setting yourself up so that you're creating a financial house that will not just last you through your lifetime, but will help future generations? Are you And then when it comes to contributions to community or causes, are you using your time and resources to create a positive ripple effect? So take a moment and reflect. What do you want people to remember you for? What do you want to be remembered for? Like when it's the end of your life, right? And there's your funeral, what do you want them to say about you? But even more, 50 years after you've gone, what do you hope they'll still be talking about you? Right? I feel like that's really at least for me, that's the legacy. So it's not just what will people think, at my funeral. That's important. But also, I want to be remembered 50 years later, 100 years later, or longer. And so what is that for you? What is that for you? What are they if you want that kind of impact? What do you want them to say about you? What do you want to be remembered for long after you're gone? Do you want to be remembered long after you're gone? And are your daily actions aligned with that vision? Are your actions aligned with that vision? Because it isn't about grand gestures or perfection. It's about small, consistent choices that build your legacy one day, one action at a time. So let's break it down into the three core pillars that will keep your legacy strong and aligned. Right? And those pillars are wealth, impact, and inspiration. So let's start with wealth. This isn't necessarily about greed or extravagance. For me, I really think about wealth as freedom and choice. When you have true wealth, that gives you the ability to take care of yourself, your loved one, and causes you care about. True wealth gives you time freedom because you're not necessarily working, you're not working for your money is mostly working for you. Then you get to do what you want with who you want, when you want, for as long as you want. That's like being really wealthy, in my opinion. So, having a financial legacy is not just about setting yourself up for that, which I think is huge, because then that also opens when you give yourself that time freedom, that gives you the opportunity to show up and have the time to take those daily actions with the people you love now, which leaves other kinds of legacy. But financially, isn't it great to not only set yourself up for that, but to set up future generations for that? This is my vision of my financial legacy. This is what I dream about. That it is, I don't know, 100 years from now, and the my progeny, my great grandchildren, are driving into the main ancestral estate, because at this point we have an ancestral estate, and they drive up to this beautiful enormous building, enormous home, and then walk up the grand staircase and go into the grand entryway. And there's this huge fireplace. And that fireplace, is like so large you can stand in it. One of those like enormous fireplaces. And in this like beautiful room, there's an enormous portrait on top of that fireplace. And that portrait is of me and my husband. And they're looking and saying, that is great grandmother Monique and grandfather Peter. And thanks to them, we have this. They started this. And my vision is not that they're living, those great grandkids are great, whatever kids are living off of that, is that each generation since has taken those lessons and expanded. So it's because oftentimes, somebody, people will go and they leave it to their kids, but by that next generation, it's all gone. So part of my vision, my legacy is that we hopefully in our lifetime we have that, and then each generation has the legacy of how to do this and to grow it so it's even more abundant that many generations down the line. That is my vision for my financial legacy, what I would love for you as well, if that is in alignment with what you want. But that's for me what I see as a wealth legacy, right? Something that not just sustains me abundantly through my lifetime, but generations behind, right? So multi generational legacy. The next pillar has to do with impact. The impact is your footprint. It's the difference you make in the lives of others. So ask yourself, what kind of ripple effect am I creating? Are you lifting others up? Are you sharing your light? Are you helping others to grow? Right? When we have events we have this mantra. I am here to be financially free and to bring others along with me. I am here to be financially free and to bring others along with me. It's not just about us, right? So we want to be able to like create this and then have an impact and then reach back and bring others along. And whether that impact is on your kids, on organizations you care about, on other people. So at Real Estate Investor Goddesses, we have this mission, and my big, hairy, audacious goal is to help 1 million women create financial freedom through real estate investing. What an impact that could be, because I know that when women have more, they have more money and more time, when they are financially empowered, and there have been studies that show this, and women on average show up very differently than men. When you financially empower a woman, she transforms the community because she helps her kids. She puts it in in education. She hires her neighbors. She helps. Like, we as women, we're wired to bring others along with us. I'm focused on helping women because I know that's a shortcut for helping others. Because you give a woman more, she's going to help her family, she's going to help her community, she's going to help the world. And I see this again and again because I ask women, what is your vision? What do you see? What do you want when you have, this, when you get to financial freedom? And time and time again, they'll say, yes, when I get there, right? I want to help my family. And then I want to build schools. I want to start scholarships. I want to have an orphanages. I want to, right? They have this vision of how they're going to help the world. So, this is what excites me. And I hope that I get to play. And I already am so grateful that I've gotten to help women to get there, um, because there is this ripple effect, and just helping one helps many. So, what is the ripple effect you are creating in your life? What is that legacy that you want to leave? How do who do you want to help, that it's going to help the world? All right. So, what is that impact? What is that legacy that you want to leave? It's not about the dollars, right? It's not just about the money, it's about your impact. And the third pillar has to do with inspiration. What lessons and stories are you leaving behind? Inspiration doesn't require perfection, it's about living authentically and showing others what's possible. It's, who are you being that can inspire others, right? To be their greatest and best self. And you get to do that by being your greatest and best self. And your story gets to be the spark that lights someone else's fire. I remember being at this at a baptism, and the reverend was actually Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. He was saying to the parents, was saying that being parents of this child, and also to the godparents, but that they were being given this gift as in a spiritual quest of sorts, right? Because that child would be watching them. So every time they had an action, they were to think, what am I teaching this child by who I'm being? What am I teaching this child by how I'm acting, how I'm behaving? Right? Because they're watching. They watch not what you say, they watch what you do. And they're just in terms of communication anyway, right? So communication, it says 55% or more is nonverbal. Only 7% of communication are your words. The rest of communication, it's your non, it's your actions, it's your tone, it's, so you can say something but how are you being, right? That's what your kids are learning. That's what others are learning from you. And if you remember that and you're like, let me be the person I want them to grow to be, how do I want them to show up? How can I be in integrity um and be authentically more myself and show up more boldly, or however that is that you would love them to show up, grow up to be? Then that's the spiritual practice, because in thinking about what are they looking at, who do I get to be, then you're actually making decisions and choices that make you the best version of yourself. And ultimately, this is all about our choices, our like little choices. This is like our day to day, habit by habit choices that create the legacy. It's the financial legacy is about the times that we saved and invested versus spending on something frivolous. It was about the times that we used our time in service of someone else or something else greater versus sitting on the couch and watching whatever, right? Some reality TV show. It's about the times when we chose to learn and grow and do something different versus um just there are the times we chose to have that healthy food um and go exercise versus eating that pint of ice cream, right? Whatever that is, it's in those little choices, daily choices, daily habits that create our legacy. Now, I want to talk about how real estate creates is such a great way to build legacy. And it is, obviously, I'm biased a little bit. I believe that real estate is one of the best tools for creating a legacy because it does three things. One, it is, I believe, the best way to build multi-generational wealth. I mean, for millennia, real estate has been the number one way that wealth has been created and um, transferred from generation to generation. That has not changed, right? In this year, this century, it's no different than it was hundreds, thousands of years ago. It doesn't matter about AI and other things. Those are not going to replace our need to have shelter, a roof over our head, land to walk on, place to grow food, right? All of that is nothing is going to replace our need for real estate. Can't remember who said, like, invest in land. They're not making any more of it. Right? This is always going to be something that's valuable and that we can um, transfer and leave behind to their kids, and they can leave behind to their kids. Um, I'll talk later about something that I'm working on that's kind of breaking my heart with regards to that. But let me finish this thought about why I love real estate first. Um, Also, it aligns with you can use real estate to align with your values. You can invest in projects that reflect what matters to you, whether that's creating affordable housing, sustainable development, community spaces. A part of our mission at Real Estate Investor Goddesses is we want to invest only where we can leave a property in a community better than we found it. That's our mission. That's our goal. And so we can invest in that way that aligns with values. And it creates passive income. That means you have more time to focus on the people and passions that light you up. This is one of the best tools for creating not just that financial cushion, but that time freedom. Ultimately, time is our greatest resource that we have, and it's limited and it's finite. And real estate helps you to be better able to use your time in the way that works best for you. Um, so right now, I've been thinking a lot about real estate and legacy. I'm in Los Angeles. Um, there are still fires burning here, and there has been a devastating impact on communities around this area. I've been volunteering, and one of last week I was in this shelter for people who were mostly in it's called the Eaton fire around Altadena, and there's I was just hearing story after story of people that had lost their homes. There's one woman who, her story in particular just broke my heart. Altadena is the area where she's was. It's a working class area, mostly African American. She This African American woman came up, shared how she'd lost her home. Her mom had lost her home. Her brother had lost his home. Um, that their family had been in that area for 58 years. And last year, the insurance companies had pulled out of California, and they were way underinsured. And their home, their legacy, right? The wealth, all the wealth that was in those buildings had burned to the ground. And I was hearing stories about these kind of like predatory investors that are going around offering peanuts for this land. Like, oh, we'll give you $50,000 cash, which is nothing, nothing for this land. And so as I was there listening to the stories, and my heart just breaking, and I left every day just in tears. Um, but I felt like, you know what? I think higher power, God put me here for a reason because I have these skills and I know people, and I would like to try to come up with a solution that can help we can help rebuild these communities more sustainably, more resiliently, help preserve this generational wealth for folks and create this win-win. I'm not quite sure what that looks like, but um, that's part of my mission and my vision. And as we're, and hopefully more will be revealed. This is still early days on right now. I'm still figuring out what exactly is this, what exactly are the resources and what's the need, and that we can come up with a solution that makes the most sense for folks. But the beautiful thing is they do have this land, right? The homes have burned down, the properties burned down. Insurance is important. We talked about that last week, like how to be more resilient. And but they own the land, and that's not nothing. That's worth something. And so part of what we do, with real estate is how do you take it? How do you take what you've got so that you can create a legacy? All right. Well, at the beginning, I said I would talk about this business legacy summit that is coming up next week. And if this is resonating and you want to learn more about legacy, then I invite you to join me at the Business Legacy Summit. My friend, this incredible group of women that are putting this on, and lots of interviews. I was one of the experts. I'm very honored to have been invited to participate. And so you should definitely attend because you are going to get expert guidance. You're going to learn directly from people who've mastered the art of building impactful legacies in a lot of different ways. So I'm there talking about real estate, but there are a lot of other women talking about legacy in other ways. And you're going to get connection. You're going to surround yourself with like minded goddesses who are building lives of purpose and abundance, and it will give you clarity. So you will walk away with a clear roadmap so you can align your work, your wealth, and your values to create the legacy that you want to create. So I'm going to put in the chat right now the link so you can save your spot, and the price is free. So definitely, definitely sign up and go. It will be really powerful. Okay. So this is your moment to step into your power and design a legacy that you will be proud of. And this summit will help you to do that better. All right. So that's that's basically what I wanted to share about legacy. And before we go, I'm going to end with a end of show Trinity. So the Trinity is a brag, something worth celebrating, something want a gratitude and a desire. So I would love it if you would share your Trinity in the chat. I'd love to hear what you are celebrating right now, what you are grateful for, and what you desire. But I will brag. I brag that I brag the impact I've been able to have, and it's definitely not at my million. I'm not really close yet. I mean, yeah, I'm not close yet. I don't even have 100,000 people yet in the email, but still, to have helped anyone feels so good, and I just love hearing from goddesses who have created financial freedom, who've been able to get when they get their investment property, when they have these big wins. um I live for that, so I brag that impact that I've been able to have, and I brag that my girls are investors. Actually, all three of my kids, my son too, gotten them investing and got them investing early. So I brag that legacy, and that feels really good. And I am grateful. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be of service. And I'm grateful for this community of goddesses that show up, that listen, that take action. Um, and that, and every time anyone shares with me that any of this helps them, your energy and commitment and really remind me of why I do this. So I'm super grateful to you. And my desire my desire is to really come up with a innovative, like transformative solution for the folks that were impacted by the Altadena fires. I'm My desire, yeah, with an incredible team of partners that are open-hearted, that are coming from the right place, that are brilliant, that are in their zones of genius. Allow me to be in mine, and I'm just, I, yeah, I desire that we are able to make an impact that um, helps others leave and helps us ourselves and others leave an incredible legacy. So that's my Trinity. I'd love to hear yours, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Now let's get real and stay real. All right. Bye-bye.